I know this weekend will be as well. Night game in the Valley is always a lot of fun, so look forward to being a part of that. This is a really dangerous football team coming in here. A team that they got some weapons, they got some tools. The quarterback's been around. He's not going to be a guy that's going to be overwhelmed with the environment. This is a kid that has started at Texas and started at Nebraska, so he's been in, a lot of big-time games and understands the environment that he's coming into. And offensively, they do a lot of really good things that challenge you. They've got a really good scheme. Coach Herman has known him for a long time. He's always done a good job offensively, and they've got some speed. They got some dudes that can really, really run, that can take the top off really quick. Got a couple of talented backs in at number 3 and number 2 that are very impressive and run hard. This will be one of the biggest offensive lines we'll play against all year. These guys are massive. I mean, they're huge across the front, and veteran group. So, this is and then again, the quarterback is a guy that can make throws. He can get out of the pocket. I'm sure they'll probably move him out of the pocket. He creates well, extends plays well. When he scrambles, he looks to throw. But he will pull it down and run it as well. So, again, this is a good football team. They're 2 games in. And, I know they're disappointed with their game they're coming off of, and with a couple turnovers in that game. But this is a team that will challenge us schematically and athletically. So look forward to that matchup and competing against these guys. And then over on the other side, defensively, same thing. They've got some very active guys up front that are disruptive. Number 50 and number 8, 2 really impressive inside players. 95 and 19 really just jump out at you, and 49. They play really hard. Guys on the back end can run. So just a good group across the board. They've kind of shown a little bit of everything in the first 2 games as far as their style of play. In and out of different fronts, multiple fronts, movement up front. They've shown a little bit of everything coverage-wise in a couple games. So there's a lot of things on tape already just in 2 games. Not afraid to get up and challenge receivers, and also have played a lot of zone as well. So. A little bit of everything to get ready for, but at the end of the day, it's about us just keep building, see if we can cut out a couple of these disasters that we've had in the first 2 games, and it's always been a program that I've been down there, ridden by the campus a lot, and it's one of those places you go, wow, now that'd be a cool place to coach. I mean. Not a bad gig there, man. Great place to live. And then when they built the campus, the stadium on campus there, it's created a nice, really nice venue and environment. So maybe we should do a home and home with these guys, a little trip down there. But Coach Schnellenberger, he's a guy that kind of put that program on the map, and I got a lot of respect for him, and go kind of way back with him. He was an Alabama guy at one time as well, and on Coach Bryant's staff, and then actually played against one of his teams when he was at Louisville my sophomore year at Alabama, out in the Fiesta Bowl. So amazing what they've done with that program over the years, and they've had some really good coaches come through there and a bunch of good players.
Speaking of this secondary, their quarterback, Casey Thompson, he averaged almost 9 yards an attempt last year at Nebraska, which was 11th in the country. Is he going to really test your secondary downfield? So I think he throws it downfield.
Yeah, they're going to test us in 2 ways. Schematically, they're going to test us because they do a lot of really good things. There's a ton of misdirection, a ton of play action, a ton of pistol play action, swap boots, RPO stuff that creates conflict. Really, really schemed up well that way, and I think that's really suits him. A million cross mesh routes, a lot of mesh concepts, and again, screen game mixed in with it as well. But his ability to to throw the football on the move, I think is a huge challenge because he's very, very capable of, and he's confident as far as stepping up and up and out, or just getting out, and he's a guy that looks to throw. Again, he'll pull it down and run, but he looks to throw. So that's going to challenge us. So we've got to be great with our scramble drill. And again, going against our defense, I'm sure they're going to try to move him early, whether it be some, guard pull scheme to get him on an edge where he can maybe throw back. You see some of that on tape to try to create, a longer clock as opposed to just sitting in the pocket. I think you'll see some of those things from him, and he's got some swagger to him. He's a good player. But yeah, he's gonna challenge us with his skill. But those receivers he's got, listen, this number one can fly. I mean, this guy is an absolute rocket. So you better know where he is every time we line up on defense. You better know where that guy is. And I mean, they got guys that can run for sure. So, but he can get it to him. He's confident, and that the scheme and then himself will challenge those guys. It'll be a good test for us, for sure.
Because he's got Charlie Fry and Chad Lunsford and Ed Warner, a lot of those old Big Ten guys. Can you see that Big Ten influence?
Yeah, I mean
especially with that offense.
Well, they run the ball. I mean, again, when you watch this number 3, he's a downhill physical runner. So it's a good mix, with a really physical downhill. Again, a lot of pistol play action stuff, again, that creates a lot of conflict, and then they're throwing in behind your backers, especially against a defense like ours that's fast. So they'll try to manipulate our speed, I'm sure. And then we've seen, I don't know, about 3 trick plays in 2 games already. We've seen reverse passes. I mean, we've seen it all. So they've been very creative in their first couple games, and the physical run game presence is definitely a part of what they want to do, and it creates a lot of their, because again they want to be a play action football team, RPO type of a deal, and so you got to have that, and you certainly see that. And then they're huge. I mean, they're big dudes up front. One guy's 6'8", I don't know, 300. They're all 300 plus, so definitely can see they're trying to build something special down there.
Was it early in Chad's time here when y'all would visit with Ohio State staff and Herman was a part of that?
Yeah. We visited with them multiple times. In fact, they came down here. Tom and them came down here. Can't remember what year that was. And then one year we played them and then met with them and watched the game after we beat them. So that's what, that's kind of one of the things about coaching that's unique. Coaches have always, they get together and, obviously we wouldn't go meet with our in-state rival, but and break down tape together. But you get out of games like that, and you got relationships and things like that. Coaches meet and try to make each other better. Whether it be defensive coaches getting together or offensive coaches getting together, or linebacker coaches, OL coaches have their own, they have their own society, if you will. They meet in dark rooms all across the country to plot and scheme. So that's just the nature of the business. But yeah, it's kind of unique, But yeah, I've been around Tom several times. He's a good football coach.